Hello, within the next 10 minutes we will discuss the most important business events taking place from April 2 to April 8. This is Events Around the Corner on Kazakh TV. The International Auto Show will open in New York for the 115th time on April 3. The results of a startup marathon will be summed up in Minsk on the 5th. The World Health Day will be celebrated on April 7. Let's get to these and other events in detail. April 2 is a deadline for bids invited by Lukoil Uzbekistan Operating Company. The Uzbek branch of the company announced a tender for the development of documentation, supply of equipment and construction of a new facility for the Kandim Group. Since 2004, Lukoil has been implementing the Kandim project jointly with the Uzbek Neftegaz National Holding. 6 gas deposits comprise the Kandim Group. The first phase of the project envisages production and processing of more than 2 billion cubic meters of gas from fields Kuvachi Alat and Kauzak Shadi. The Kandim gas processing complex will be built within the project. This is Lukoil's largest investment in Uzbekistan. The facility will process more than 8 billion cubic meters of gas per year. The deal for equipment supply was signed in February with a group of contractors led by Hyundai Engineering. The contract is worth $2.6 billion. By 2016, Lukoil plans to produce at least 18 billion cubic meters of gas per year in Uzbekistan. The International Auto Show will start in New York on Friday, April 3. This will be the 115th time the event is held since 1900. Back then, this was the first auto show in the continent. Despite the Great Depression, war and economic crisis, the show had continued. What makes the show unique is the opportunity to see all models and makes of vehicles manufactured in the USA in one platform. Every year, around 20 world premieres and innovations are presented there by biggest car makers. The Dodge Viper sport car and new BMW X4 crossover are one of the most anticipated premieres this year. The latter will cost from $45,000 in the USA. Japanese car makers will showcase the second generation of Nissan Murano and hybrid Toyota RAV4. The European Alfa Romeo will present 4C and 4C Launch Edition. The sales of the Alfa Romeo models will start in the United States right after the show, marking the brand's comeback to the American market after a long break. The organizers will also address young audience presenting video games, simulators and cars that teenagers will be able to test drive. The venue for the show is at Jacob Javits Center in Manhattan. Qatar Airways Cargo will launch a new freighter service from Doha to Los Angeles on April 4. The company already has offices in Houston, Chicago and Atlanta. A Boeing 777 freighter will carry 100 tons of cargo twice a week. Chief Officer of Qatar Airways Cargo, Ulrich Ogerman, said, "We are proud to announce our 4th freighter destination in the US, further strengthening Qatar Airways Cargo's worldwide air freight network." Executive Director of the Los Angeles World Airports, Gina Mary Lindsay, noted that the new service will provide Southern California businesses with more choices to ship between the West Coast, the Gulf, Middle East and beyond. It will also open the US markets to Qatari businesses. Los Angeles World Airports is California's largest air hub and one of the world's biggest airports. Every year, around 60 million passengers and more than 2 million tons of cargo pass through this airport. In 2014, a $91 billion worth of air cargo were handled by the airport. A 2-day marathon of startup projects will end on April 5 in Minsk. A team of investors organizes the event for businesses, both newcomers and long-term players, and people who've come up with business ideas and IT projects. Each startup will receive an upgrade by experts to make it successful. In addition, workshops, seminars and sharing of expertise are expected. Experts will provide advice on how to start a business and give useful tips. During the startup weekend, investors will learn about new projects and fund the most promising ones. It should be noted that Kazakhstani and Belarusian businesses have been successfully cooperating in development of internet resources and IT projects. US President taps Twitter's Vice President Jason Goldman as White House's first Chief Digital Officer. Goldman will start his job on April 6. Goldman brings new energy and coveted expertise as someone who's helped shape the digital age, President Obama said. Goldman was quoted as saying that right now the government uses digital technology to inform the public about its work. His objective will be to get the US citizens involved in the administration's work through various websites and social media. Any American will be able to evaluate the work of the government, discuss legislations, and make commentary on how to improve the efficiency of administration at these resources. Recently, the White House has been increasing its digital outreach. For instance, the We the People website was created to collect petitions and poll the population. This has not been the only IT appointment at the White House recently. Last month, senior Facebook engineer David Ricardon was named IT director in Obama's administration. The World Health Day will be celebrated on April 7. The idea to observe this cause was voiced at the first session of the World Health Assembly in 1948. That year, the World Health Day was celebrated on July 22 when the Statute of the World Health Organization was ratified. The statute was passed in April next year, and the WHD had been celebrated on April 7 ever since. Every year, a topic is selected to raise the public's awareness. UN Secretary General and WHO Director General address these topics in their annual speeches on this date. Food safety is a topic this year. The World Health Day was created to make people think about their health, how they live and what they eat. As technology and science progress, more and more attention is paid to health of the humankind. The so-called omics technologies have greatly improved specific diagnostics of various diseases. Two million people die each year from contaminated food, most of them are children. Pathogenic bacteria, viruses, parasites and chemicals present in food cause over 200 diseases. How safe is our food? What can we do to make it safe? Probably more than 50% of how healthy we are depends on what we eat and how we eat. In this context, food safety is especially important for big cities, where lots of people live. It is known that fast food, which is very popular with urban population, negatively affects the digestive system and contains a lot of preservatives. The motto of the World Health Day 2015 is improving food safety from farm to plate. On April 8, Prime Minister of Greece Alexis Tsipras will visit Moscow to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin. Sources from the Greek government report that the official has been invited to attend the celebration of the 9th of May, the Victory Day. Alexis Tsipras took the prime ministerial office on January 26 this year. Chairman of the Synospasmos party and leader of the coalition of the radical left. Chairman of the Synospasmos party and leader of the coalition of the radical left. After the election, Tsipras stated that his government didn't support the European Union's sanctions against Russia. Greece opposes the sanctions and believes them to be inefficient and damaging to the Greek economy. According to the Greek press, Tsipras is planning a meeting with Putin because of the unfavorable economic conditions in the country that were caused by negotiations with Europe. In early March, the Greek government addressed their Russian counterparts with a request to lift the embargo on certain types of farming produce. In addition, Greece wants to enter the Russian market with animal husbandry exports. This has been our perspective on the coming week. You've watched Events Around the Corner. See you next time on Kazakh TV.